Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and today we're going to be looking at the part 2 video guide that's going to be focusing on this idea of objects with different mass and how maybe forces and motions affect them. So let's go ahead and look at our very first question here. We have 3 chairs rolling across the floor. Big thing we need to know here is the blue chair has a mass of 12 kilograms, red has 12, yellow has 10. Blue starts with a velocity of 4 meters per second going to the right, it looks like. Red, 3 meters per second going to the right, and yellow going 2 meters per second to the right. They experience a change in their velocity, and each of them slow down by 3 meters per second. And the question's asking which chair or chairs, plural, experience the strongest force when hit. How do you know? So let's go ahead and hop into their simulator and pretend like we have our 3 objects here. And our 3 objects had the same starting velocities, A, B, and C, as our chairs. So the first 2 chairs there, and the third one is there. Now notice the A and B object have a higher mass, okay, of 2 kilograms than our object C, which has a mass of 1 kilogram. So we have our heavier objects and our lighter object. And notice our objects are going to change their velocity by 3 as it was explained in the diagram. So the first one, object A, goes from 4 to 1, 3 to 6, 2 to 5, all changing by a variation of 3. Now, the question asks which chair experienced the strongest force and how do you know? Well, let's take a look at our simulator and see what it takes in order for these 3 objects to have the same change. So if we kind of fast forward until the time in which a force is applied, you'll notice all of our objects have a change in velocity as indicated, but again, notice our objects and notice the force required to make that change. Object A and B had a force applied of around 60, whereas object C only had 30. So our 2 objects with the higher mass required a higher or a stronger force in order to get that change of 3. Our lighter mass only required 30 in order to get that change of 3. So we can conclude that larger objects here need more need more force in order to slow them down than lighter objects. So again, looking at that force, mass, and velocity, the more mass we have, the more force we're going to need to cause a change in velocity. The lighter or the less mass that we have, the lower the force needed to change the overall velocity. So in that case, if we're looking at our options here, the answer is going to be the blue and the red chair experience the strongest force because they are both more massive than the yellow chair and they change speeds about the same amount. So when we go to my answer to this question below, we need to put the letter A. If we click off to the side, it'll obviously tell us if our answer is right. If we pick the wrong answer and click off to the side, it'll say not quite. We need to make sure we change it to the right answer. All the questions that you're going to see moving forward are going to deal with this idea that objects with different masses, how do their velocities change and what does that tell us about the force required? So make sure when you put in your answer, you're going through, checking that your answers are correct, making sure you understand why. And of course, if you have questions, make sure you check in with me before hitting that next button. Otherwise, good luck.